Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange Live. And you know, if it's Thursday, it's all about inspiration. Tonight, a topic we hardly ever discuss, people we hardly ever look at, or if we do, we just either look the other way or don't even think about it. I'm talking about people with albinism. And don't you dare call them albinos, because that is derogatory, and they'll be the first to tell you that. We're going to talk to a young lady, 22 years old, is a second-year student at USIU, doing amazing work, trying to highlight, trying to profile, trying to put people with albinism on the map, because they are people, just like you and me. Sit back. You're going to be inspired today. Her Twitter handle is @Grace Maya. That's M-A-Y-A. Mine is @Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. Her name, Grace Nzomo. Gracie, good to see you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Beautiful young lady, by the way.
Thank you.
Does everybody tell you that, or is this just a...
Some do.
But you don't say, huh? You don't say.
Yeah.
So...
I'm 20, by the way.
You're 20? I said 22, right?
Yeah.
I made you older.
Yeah.
I'm 49, and you know. Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
When I talked to you over the phone the other day, and I said, should I call you albino? And boom, you cut me off right away. Because that is derogatory, you told me, right?
Yeah.
And people, because either we're ignorant or we just don't bother, that's what they call you folks, right?
Yeah, some do.
Is that unfair?
I find it very, very unfair. Yeah. Because we are people first. Albinism is a condition like any other. It's a genetic condition. It just affects the skin, the melanin, which is not produced in people with albinism. So we end up being white, having blonde hair, our eyes don't have melanin, so we have eye issues. So I think people are scared of the unknown. So they try to find ways to describe it. So they came up with albino. Yeah.
Okay, let's go back. Is it a genetic disorder? Let me ask you that. Because there's two of you, two girls in your family, you and your sister, and you're both people with albinism, aren't you?
Yeah. Now, a person with albinism is born when both their parents carry the gene. Both their parents have to carry the gene. Now in Kenya, the men say, they always blame the women for everything. If you don't have a boy, or why don't you have a boy? It's the man who's at fault. So both parents carry the gene. And 60% of families in Kenya or 60% of people with albinism in Kenya are raised up by single parents, because the father says, how come the child is white? You had an affair with a white man. That's the only way they can explain it. So lack of ignorance is a big disease in Kenya.
And there's a lot of stigmatization and stereotyping, yes? So that some people with albinism are even, let's say, locked up, for lack of a better word, right?
Yes, yeah.
By their parents.
Yeah, because they're scared of taking them out. Because in some communities it's associated with witchcraft. So if they see someone with albinism in their community, they're like, how did that happen? So bad news. So the parents lock them up to protect them, but they're not really protecting them. They're protecting them from themselves. Yeah. They should accept it and just let them out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in a couple of countries, Ivory Coast, and I used to work a lot in Tanzania as well. And there, people with albinism are like targeted almost. They're targeted.
Yeah.
Killed. Does that happen here? Have there been cases of that here?
Yeah, they have a few because of the influence from Tanzania, mainly along the coast or that border of Tanzania. But in Kenya, at least people are more enlightened in Kenya, not like Tanzania.
Yeah.
Tanzania, it's very, very bad. Yeah.
Okay, tell me, growing up, what was that like as a kid? You were probably the only white person in your whole village, if you will. Yes?
Yes, in school, at home. Yeah.
What was that like?
My parents treated me as a normal child, but I only realized I was different when I got out of home. That's when people used to say Mzungu, or in school people are really all over me because they were attracted to a white person. And then in my primary school, Thika Road Christian School, our principal was also Chinese, so they used to say I'm her daughter. So they didn't know how to explain albinism. They used to say I'm her daughter. So I only realized I was different when I was out of home, but at home I got all the love, all the support that I needed. Yeah.
Would you get teased in school by the kids? Would they tease you?
Not really.
No?
They're just amazed. They're just awed. Yeah.
But then the teachers, this is where it really got tricky, right? Because number one, they thought you were blind, right?
Yeah, that's in secondary. In primary, because my mom is a teacher, so So the school I was in, Thika Road Christian School, she later came on as a teacher there. So she could explain to the teachers, let her sit in front because she can't see clearly. Let her sit in front, write legible letters on the board, give her extra time during homework if she can't finish, because I loved swimming and the chlorine used to really affect my eyes. So whenever we had swimming classes, that day I wouldn't be able to do my homework well. So my mom used to write the questions for me, then I come back and write the answers. So my mom really helped to educate the teachers in primary, but now in secondary she couldn't follow me there.
How did you do in primary school?
Yeah, I did very well, and I was called to Moi Girls.
Moi Girls, yeah.
Yeah. So now when I went there, after a month of settling in, they told me, now the chemistry teacher called me to the lab. So she gave me a thermometer. She told me, can you read the readings? I'm like, no, not clearly. I can see, but I can't really say which number that is. So it's like, okay, all right, go back to class. The geography teacher called me. Can you read? She gave me a map. She told me to read the map. I told her I can see the big letters, but the small ones, maybe I need a magnifying glass to make them bigger.
Did you wear glasses then?
Yes, I've always worn glasses from when I was 4 years old. Yeah. And glasses really, really help to strengthen the eyes. Or people with albinism, we really, really need the glasses because from when there's too much light, we end up squinting.
Yes.
So we need glasses which are photochromatic, not shades, because those are always dark, but photochromatic, which dim when it's too bright.
Yeah. Do these lights bother you?
A little.
A little bit?
Yeah, a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we switch them up? Or?
It's okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because if we switch them up, you won't be able to see me.
It's okay. For your sake, let's keep them on.
So in geography, you could read the big letters, but you couldn't read the little ones, the maps rather.
Yeah.
So then what did they say?
They said, since you can't see, you're blind, you won't have to do chemistry, you won't do physics, you won't do computer, you won't do geography. So I started with 8 subjects from Form 1. And now after a month, they told me, since you're not doing chemistry and physics and all that, you have to learn Braille and use it, because they had this integrated program where they used to have 1 or 2 blind students from peripheral areas like Turkana. So I was with another girl who had already used Braille since she was 4. She was almost totally blind, 90% blind. So they told me, now you'll have to do Braille like her. So I had a month or a term to teach myself Braille and use it for my exams. They told me, we won't mark your exams in print, we'll only mark them in Braille.
No.
Yes.
Was that difficult? I mean, it must have been.
Yeah, it really, really was hard for me to accept that fact, but...
And you didn't like the Braille teacher anyway, right? You didn't get along?
No, we didn't get along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really, really hard to accept that fact, but I had to make it. So my mom told me it's just a stepping stone. You won't use it in university. So just use it for these 4 years, then you get it over and done with.
Yeah, but you must have missed your chemistry and your physics and your computers, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's really unfair?
If I wanted to be a doctor, yes. Yeah. But now you see, when you don't do chemistry and physics, already your career options are limited. So you have to choose something else. Something in humanities, something in languages. Yeah. So science things, no.
Does that still happen?
Yeah.
That discrimination?
It does in some normal schools, not in schools for the blind, like Thika School for the blind. Right. At least there they have chemistry, but they integrate it to suit you. Yeah.
But these other schools,
no, not
if you're a person with albinism,
it depends on the system of the school. My girls, they don't give you a chance.
That's shameful.
Yeah, it is.
Very unfair.
Yeah.
So after Moi Girls, how did you do, by the way, in
KCSE?
That one.
I got a B.
You got a what?
A B.
B.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And in the history of Moi Girls, people who they used to call us visually impaired, they're always getting low marks, so they expected low marks from me, and I really surprised them. Yeah.
Were you the only person with albinism at Moi Girls?
At that time, yes, but I had stories maybe 10 or 12 years ago. There was a girl with albinism and she really caused them problems, so they're expecting the same from me. Yeah.
And since then, have you kept up? Do they have others?
No, only my sister now.
Is she there now?
She's there now. She went to the same school. My mom told me she'll have to go there and teach them a lesson. So she's not doing Braille. She's in Form 4 right now and doing very well. Yeah.
So you passed and you're now studying psychology?
Yes. It's my passion.
Why?
Even in high school, I was a sort of a peer counselor. People just used to come to me and tell me their problems, and I would just try to counsel them. Then it was just in me. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
And you're telling me about the kid with Down syndrome?
Yeah, before I worked for Dr. Choksi, after I cleared high school, I went back to my former primary school. That school just made me who I am today. So I went back there for 6 months. I was an assistant teacher, a helper. So I used to work with the weak kids. So there's this boy with Down syndrome. I used to really work with him. Before, he wasn't really talking. He was his own person. So by the time I left, at least he was saying simple sentences, saying his name, his age, which school he's in. And I really, really wish that I missed that time. Yeah.
Let's go back to Moe girls. Would the girls tease you?
No.
Nobody?
No, they're just odd.
So you've led a pretty normal life then?
Yeah, I have.
Because, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people with albinism, they get teased a lot.
Yes,
they
it depends on the society around you.
Correct.
Yeah, it does. But in my girls, at least people think we're very intellectual.
Educated.
Yeah, they're educated, yeah.
You have a minor in business as well?
Yeah.
So what do you want to do with this when you grow up? Because, you're still 20.
Business was my favorite subject in high school, and I would have been pursuing business management, but it's too flooded, and I decided to follow my passion, and I want to do master's, PhD, and then I want to set up my own practice. So I'll need the management skills, I'll need the business skills to set up my own practice.
Your own practice, psychology?
Yes.
Specializing kids or across the board?
Kids mainly. I love kids. Yeah.
Is your mother still alive?
Yes.
What does she think of what you've done? Because you've achieved quite a bit.
She's my rock, she's my support, always encouraging me on every step.
Yeah.
Because there are challenges at every step, even in university, there are challenges. Yeah.
Your dad?
He's still there.
Still there?
Yeah.
With your mom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't ostracize, he didn't...
No, he didn't. I count myself very lucky that my parents stayed together, because in most cases in Kenya, the father leaves or he chases the mother away for bearing a child with albinism. So I thank God my parents still stayed together.
Do you sometimes wish that you were black? Maybe it's an unfair question, but I'm just wondering.
I'm comfortable in my own skin. God decided this, so I'm good.
You are?
Yeah.
Do you talk to other people with albinism? Because, your level of confidence here is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I try to encourage the children, because parents come with small children wondering how are they going to grow up, what are you going to do, how are you going to handle them. So I try to encourage the parents to just give them all the love and support that they need, and they'll be successful, more successful than me. Yeah.
What do they say? Do they listen to you? Are they...
Yeah, when they see someone older with albinism, they have hope. Yeah, they have hope, and they have the strength to keep taking care of the child. Yeah.
At USIU right now, how do the people treat you?
Well, it being an international university, there are all nationalities there, so everyone is their own person. Yeah, you're all different, so you don't really notice.
Do you use Braille?
No, I don't.
Normal?
No. There's no reason for that.
Can you use Braille? Can you...
I read the dots. So I was still using my eyes, not my fingers. I was still reading the dots even in high school, and I still remember a bit of it.
So you can teach blind people?
Yes, I can. Yeah. So it was a good thing and a bad thing. It was an opportunity to learn a new skill.
Yes.
There are not so many Braille transcribers in Kenya. So it was a skill I learned. So it was just a stepping stone. Yeah.
What's the toughest thing about being a person with albinism? What's the toughest thing? Do your eyes hurt a lot?
No, not really. No, but I can't see that far. So when people assume you can see far, they're like, can you see that thing which is there? I'm like, no, I can't see that far. But it's mainly the eye challenges which are the most. The skin, I just have to wear protective clothing, use sunscreen, avoid the sun. But the eyes, I need a little help with that. But I can read, I can manage normally like any other person.
Yeah. What numbers sunscreen do you use?
50 plus. Yeah.
Okay. Is it available?
Yeah, it is. But in most cases, like in families where it's only the mother alone raising the child, there are a lot of responsibilities on the mother. She has to find food, shelter, education for the kids. So sunscreen, she might find it maybe something very secondary, and then the child with albinism is bound to suffer. So
because of the heat and
yeah.
That's tough, huh?
Yeah, it is.
I want to talk more about that after the break, Gracie. And also, do you have a boyfriend? I'm sure a lot of viewers are wondering right about now, does she have a boyfriend?
That's a very personal question.
Well, I ask personal questions because that's who I am. But don't answer right now. And also, we'll try and see if Dr. Choksi is here, because she has inspired a whole generation of people with albinism, hasn't she?
Yes, she has.
She's turned lives around.
Yes,
It's an amazing work. Excellent.
Yeah.
At Grace Maya, that's M-A-Y-A, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag is JKL, or if you would like, people with albinism. That's what we're talking about. We hardly ever consider them, unless you see that politician guy making noise, but he's what?
Isaac Mora.
Him.
Yeah. He's a person with albinism, but he's a person. He has his own views, not our views, his own views.
Hello. His own views. JKL is all about inspiration. I'm getting inspired right here by this young 20-year-old. How about that? There's plenty more after the break. JKL takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.